This video will go over the basics of the Data Usability Assessment, or DUA, tool in FUDSChem. This tool provides a way to document the Data Usability Assessment for your project. UFP-QAP Worksheet 37 documents the procedures used to perform the DUA and the personnel responsible. The personnel may vary from project to project, but the PM, chemist, and risk assessor should always be involved. This worksheet can be generated in FUDSChem under Reports, UFP-QAP Worksheets. More information on this and other DUA reports can be found in our Data Usability Assessment Reports Overview video, linked in the description. The DUA is performed at the end of a sampling event once the validation approval step is marked complete in the project tracking report. You can check the status by clicking on the dashboard link or by going to Reports, Event Tracking Reports, Project Tracking. Here, we can see that the B6 field is filled out with a completion date for this event. This means it will be available in the DUA tool. If this field is not filled out for your event, but you are ready to start the DUA, please reach out to your Synectics point of contact. To start the assessment, go to Tools, Data Usability Assessment. If the contractor is contracted to perform the DUA, they can be given access to this interface. However, their work must be reviewed by the USACE and the final steps must be performed by the USACE chemist. Alternatively, the USACE can complete the entire assessment on their own. Select the desired project and event. On the Assessment Checklist tab, you can add general comments in the Details section. You will then answer the review questions below. Additional comments can be added for each question as applicable. As a best practice, if you update a qualifier on the next tab, add a comment to the appropriate checklist question noting the update. Most questions reference a specific report, many of which can be found under Reports, Data Usability Assessment Reports. More information can be found in our Data Usability Assessment Reports Overview video, linked in the description. The checklist questions are summarized in the Data Usability Summary, which can be used as a final DUA report. Under Reports, Data Usability Assessment Reports, choose Data Usability Summary. Fill out the drop-downs and click View Report. The report shows the project information, followed by a signature line. Signatures of data reviewers can be encrypted into FUDSChem and inserted into the final report if desired. Reach out to your Synectics point of contact if you want to digitize your signature. The checklist questions are included at the end of the report. Data that is qualified during the DUA will be displayed on page 2, along with final qualifiers chosen during the assessment. We have not yet changed X's to final qualifiers, but when we do, the report will update in real time to show the new qualifiers. We'll come back to this page of the report once we update qualifiers. To do so, we'll go to the Sample Qualification tab of the DUA interface. First, choose the event. Next, use the drop-downs to filter on specific qualifiers, SDGs, test methods, preparation methods, samples, or analytes. Click the Edit All button and fill out the new data or qualifier in the Modified section. For example, we'll say that the non-detect data that exceeded hold times is not usable, so we'll change the X's listed for copper and lead to R's by filling in the qual column with R's. Note that X's do not automatically become R flags. In some cases, the data may still be usable for your project. We'll say that the results for antimony are usable and change the X to a J. We'll also add a negative bias. We could add a new reason code, result, result type, or LOQ if needed. For any data or qualifiers that do not need to be updated, the modified section should be left blank, and the original data will be used. Click Save All. When editing is not in progress, you can click on a column header to sort the data. If multiple samples need the same change, you can use the Apply Qualifiers by Batch button to adjust many qualifiers at once. Reason codes can be added to indicate why qualifiers were added or edited. You can use the drop-downs to narrow down the list of samples. Then, select the samples and analytes that you want to affect with the update. In this case, we will close this interface without making updates. Go back to the Data Usability Summary report and refresh it. The qualifiers we just updated are listed in the Modifications to Qualifiers section. The report can be downloaded in a variety of formats by clicking on the floppy disk icon. Once you are finished with the DUA, you can download this report, attach any other reports you may want to include, and upload it to the library as your final DUA report. Please refer to our library submission tutorial, linked in the description, for more information. Once the checklist is complete and all X qualifiers have been changed to final qualifiers, return to the Assessment Checklist tab and click the Screen Event button. This button screens for issues in the data that need to be resolved before it can be migrated to the EChem database, behind the USACE firewall. For information on how to resolve errors, please refer to our Data Usability Assessment Screening and Troubleshooting video, linked in the description. Once any errors are resolved, click the Certify button. This will lock the event and prevent further editing of chemistry data. If an event is certified prematurely, each USACE district has a designated user with permissions to uncertify events. That person can do this by clicking the Uncertify button. The last step of the DUA allows the chemist to approve events and transfer the data into the EChem database. Once the event is certified, it becomes available in the Event Approval Unapproval tab. Events that are not yet approved will be listed in the Unapproved Events dropdown. Select the desired event and click Approve Event. A message will warn the chemist that approving the event will lock it and prevent it from being edited. The pop-up also notes that an ESEDD file will be automatically generated, which the chemist can save or access from the FUDSChem library. Click OK. Upon clicking OK, depending on the browser settings, a pop-up may ask the chemist where they want to save the ESEDD zip file. If not, they can collect it from the FUDSChem library by going to Library, choosing the property in question, then clicking EChem Deliverables. The chemist can submit this zip file to EChem via the drop site folder. The Corps has published an EChem Quick Start Guide which details the process. Our Introduction to EChem video, linked in the description, also describes the basics. If approved data needs to be edited, each district has a designated user with permissions to unapprove events. Here, on the Event Approval Unapproval tab, they would select the event in question in the Approved Events dropdown and click Unapprove Event. Upon clicking Unapprove Event, a message will warn the user that unapproving the event will unlock it and enable editing. Additionally, the event will need to be removed from EChem by submitting an EChem removal file to the drop site folder. Click OK. Upon clicking OK, an ESEDD removal file is generated, which the user can save to their computer or access from the library folder. The user can submit this file to the EChem drop site folder to remove the previously approved event. Once the data is removed from EChem and updates are made in FUDSChem, the chemist can return to this tab and click Approve Event to generate an updated ESEDD file to submit to EChem. EChem exports will be shown in the library folder. If an event is approved or unapproved multiple times, the library folder will only include the most recent EChem export and EChem removal files as part of the effort to keep FUDSChem and EChem synchronous. Don't forget to subscribe to the FUDSChem YouTube channel for more tutorial videos. All of the tutorials and playlists mentioned during this video are linked in the description below. Lastly, if you have questions or comments, feel free to contact us at fuds.support@synectics.net. Thank you.